Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be checking out a game called Pizza Girl by developer Game Loop Entertainment. This is going to be day 2 of our mini-series of pizza-related indie games, I suppose. And this is essentially an endless runner done in a 3D style with some shooting elements, only instead of shooting, we're actually going to be delivering pizzas on a hoverboard at high speeds while floating through space. So picture like a sci-fi paperboy, essentially, is kind of the theme I think we're going for here. So let's take a quick look at the options on offer, and then we will get into things here. So we got music slider, SFX slider, and H&V sensitivity, and we can also mute all the sounds all together. Sounds good. I think everything's pretty much the way we want it to be. And then let's take a quick look at our tutorials here. So this is Pizza Girl's small instructional guide. So we want to avoid hazards to survive as long as possible, throw pizzas at houses to obtain money, only one pizza per house, of course, because, you know, in space you can only order one pizza at a time. It'd be a little gluttonous not to. We can do a W to boost, we can move left, right, or stomp. Okay, I didn't know there was a stomp involved. Then we want to look around with our mouse and throw pizzas. There's a slow motion button, so like a pizza time, I guess, like a bullet time, but, you know, less Max Payne inspired. And then we've got a jump on spacebar and hold after jump for hovering. Alright, so we're on a hoverboard, we're also going to be hovering on our hoverboard, independent of the concept of hovering. I'm into that. We can get instant points with money stacks, we can get a boost to obtain faster points, we can get new focus with, I thought that was a ketchup bottle, I think it's like a weird Coca-Cola Ramune or something, and then we can get more points for pizza with cheese. Alright, I mean, sort of a loose tie-in there, but that's okay. So I've played maybe about 4 runs of this at this point. It's a surprisingly fun game. Let's go and deliver some pizzas. How about we do this? So first thing I noticed, we're completely in space. Like, this is not even... We're not even, like, in a space station. There's no covering or anything. Our lady can just survive just fine in the vacuum of space because I guess the hoverboard provides pizza protection for her. And I just kind of like the idea of, like, frisbeeing around these pizzas at houses from long distances, and then there's just fireworks. It's pretty absurd, and I love it. So we're approaching our first set of power-ups here. I think I'm going to go for just the straight-up money stacks. That seems like the best opportunity for me to grow my business as a pizza entrepreneur. I'm not sure where she's storing all those pizzas, but I'm going to assume that somewhere in the future we've established that there could be like a special way to store pizzas, like a micro pizza capsule maybe that we could keep somewhere on us. And I also have to kind of take a little bit of a look at the... Oh, wait a minute. That isn't quite how jumping works at all. Well, I died already. That's terrible. I was going to say we have to watch the arc of our pizzas as they travel through the air, but let's do that again, and hopefully a little bit more successfully. I actually had a misapprehension of how hovering worked in my head for some reason, and it's not that you hit spacebar once to jump and then hold it, which is kind of what the instructions made it sound like to me, but you have to hit it and then hit it again to hover. So, like, a little bit of a clarification, I guess, would be necessary there. I should mention there's a few different tracks on the soundtrack, and all of them I've found reasonably enjoyable. I mean, in terms of production value and everything, this game is not over the top or anything like that, but it does a decent job for what it set out to accomplish. And, you know, sort of a low-budget, casual-style, silly game. And I just realized I can get multiple power-ups if I strafe fast enough. For some reason, that didn't occur to me before. I haven't had any use for my focus yet, but the boosting, well, I feel like it would be useful just to make this beginning part hurry up a little bit. As it turns out, I might actually need to hold it just in case maybe I approach a gap that's too big or something like that. But now that I can get a couple power-ups, I think things are going to really take off from here. You know, I love games that just have hoverboards in them. I wish more games did. There's not been a huge, gross, large amount of them out there. It's really just been, like... Well, what's even coming to mind? Kid Chameleon is like the last time I've been able to use a hoverboard successfully, and that was a Sega Genesis game. Also, did it really just spawn all of the power-ups over a void? That's not very nice at all. Alright, well, we'll take that opportunity to grab some cheese. If we actually miss a house, I'm not sure there's much of any punishment. It's just that you're not going to be making money. Maybe your combo counter drops back down, but I'll try and pay more attention to that on the next one. Also not sure if I picked up the money there on that. So as we get further in, obviously, there's going to be more and more obstacles and impediments. I've seen huge gaps, and of course, these comets or fireballs, whatever you want to call them, will show up. And I would love to see maybe some more diversity in the way that this track layout goes. Because as of this point, all I've ever seen has just been pretty much a straightforward path. But if we started to get into some, like, extreme G, crazy, like, upside-down hover bike stuff, That could get really exciting. I could see there being a... Oh, I didn't realize that I wasn't jumping there, and there was nowhere else for my character. Also, for whatever reason, the letters default to AAA, and you've got to actually clear them out, which is a little weird, but... Was that my best game? That might have been one of my better games there. I don't know, I wasn't paying a ton of attention, but at least the soundtrack's going to change up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to burn up my boost early on, just to show you what it does. It doesn't do a whole lot. As you can see, it gives me just a slight little nudge forward, but it's almost, like, indifferent to the amount of speed that I'm normally doing. Also, I'm pretty sure that pizza was delivered successfully, but in this case, I just sort of clipped through the top of that building. I'd also love to see if you could do, like, trick shots off of things where you could, like, bounce a pizza off another object to try and deliver it in a more stylish manner. I mean, I'm sort of thinking ahead here, like, what else would you use this focus meter for? If not to, like, slow down and aim a pizza around a bunch of weird objects. So, like, turn this into, like, high-speed pizza billiards or something. Oh, wow, it even bends the sound, too. That's pretty fancy. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more careful with my hovers. I love these building structures, too. They remind me a lot of, like, dog chew toys at times, which is kind of funny. And the fireworks also pretty cool. So what planet is that? Is that supposed to be Earth that we're staring at off in the distance? Because if it's Earth, it seems kind of tiny. Well, also, I guess I'm not really sure where we are in space. So we've got a couple of incoming comets here. I'm just going to kind of stick to the left side and continue to deliver my pizzas. I wonder how I have the orders this well managed, because, like, I don't know, I guess everyone orders just the same cheese pizza in the future? Seems awfully boring, right? If that's the case, I don't know if I even want to live in the future. I want to have a ham pineapple Hawaiian pizza. That sounds pretty good, and I don't think anybody's ordering things like that right now. So here we go. We got a couple of platforming moments here. Would be pretty sweet, too, if we could kind of mix up some verticality in, even if it's not like loop-de-loops or anything like I was mentioning earlier. Maybe we could get in some steps or something that rise and fall. Because right now it's really, you know, just this path again with just the holes in it. And one mistake, and that's all it takes. Oh, that's a big old gap. Oh, and I can actually jump over them, too, which I have to keep in mind. Also reminded me a little bit of, like, 3D World Runner, another super old Nintendo game, for whatever reason, came to mind. Oh, geez! Ah, those were big ones. I didn't really realize that I was jumping quite so shallowly when I made that leap. Alright, so I think that's about all there is to show. I mean, I could continue on and try and get a higher score than that, but I think you can kind of get the pattern of how this is going to go. Oh, continue and retry do the same thing, don't they? Okay, well, now I know. So, you know, it's an interesting game, Pizza Girl. I think has some potential to be expanded upon further. For what it is, it might not be the fanciest thing of all time, but, you know, it does get the job done. I don't find myself really gawking at the model or anything, you know, it's just sort of like, and I mean that in the way of, like, it doesn't look ugly or anything like that. Did I just lose money? Oh, did I deliver multiple pizzas? That's the problem. You can't ever deliver multiple pizzas. They get really ticked off about that for some reason. I guess because then, like, they owe the money and, like, maybe it's just automatically charged to their debit card or something, and then when they find out, well, I didn't order any of this stuff, and I have no recompense, I have no way to deal with this issue. So all of a sudden, these pizzas are just coming out of their finances, and it's just too late for them. Also, what can I do with this stomp move? Oh, I can use it to rush back to the ground quickly. That's actually pretty useful to know about. I should have probably paid attention to that earlier, because I was finding myself stuck in the air for a while. The boost, though, is, like, really puny. Boost really needs some working. Because the beginning of this, I really would have liked to go a lot faster. I think it could have gone about 3 or 4 times as fast as we're actually given at the moment. Anyway, that's Pizza Girl. I would ask you to go ahead and check this out. The link is going to be in the description. It's totally free if you want to play it. I believe there is a downloadable client. I'm not sure if there's going to be a browser version on this one, but you can actually just go ahead and give it a download. It's not a big file. Let me know what your high scores are in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what that and as well as your criticisms might be for this. What do you think might improve or change this game to be more favorable to you? I would actually like it if we could aim a little bit further over to the right, because actually the camera gets stuck after a point and you're not able to turn your character anymore. And now I'm just not even delivering pizza anymore. I'm like the worst pizza delivery courier of all time. So yeah, sci-fi paperboy game in the future. I like it. Neat idea. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed this video. That does help me keep spreading the word about new and bizarre and original and artistic indie games. I do value your input, of course, on the episode as well, and be sure to come back again tomorrow, because new episodes of Indie Impressions go up every single day without exception, 800-plus episodes and still running. So I hope to see you back for another one tomorrow, and I hope you have a fantastic night. I'll talk to y'all later.